KDB.
That beat is fire. That beat is fire.
KDB.
That beat is fire.
Voch is actually like one of the most entertaining people I watch.
That beat is fire.
Yeah, here we go! Your mama sure does care about your schooling, son.
You bring American money.
Beats Planet.
Well, come on inside and get yourself something cool to drink.
And Dirty Mackin.
Hey, Bachi.
Y'all doing all right, man? Y'all good? Y'all straight? Everybody's doing all right? I bet you are. Hey, man, the banks are closed. You look, you ain't lying. The banks are closed. And I normally don't work when the banks are closed. Franklin paying a lot of money to get these ads out. You know what I mean? They paying. I'm just getting ahead of it before it gets ahead of me. You feel me? I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me, man. I love y'all to pieces, man. Top of the morning, you know? Let me just say, there's some weird weather going on in the DFW. There's treachery afoot and all that. I just want y'all to be careful when y'all out driving, moving and shaking in the world. You know what I'm talking about? If the stream goes away, we'll come back tomorrow and act like I never did this. All right? We'll just come back tomorrow and try it all over again. You feel me? We got some things to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. If you look in the title of my video, hold on, let me go back over there so I can see what I called. I forgot what I call that thing. Brian Schottenheimer's new culture. Is it real? Or is it McCarthy fatigue? Is it real or is it McCarthy fatigue? You know, because sometimes you get so tired of dirty macking. You know what I mean? You just get so tired of dirty mac. Like, for example, if Schottenheimer was dirty macking on Mike McCarthy and Mike McCarthy was doing a fantastic job, we were like, yo, Shotty, you a hater. Chill. But Shotty can dirty mac on Mike McCarthy all he wants because Mike McCarthy just didn't do things in a way that we saw fit.
Did you hear what I said?
You know what I'm talking about? So the question that immediately hopped in on my mind there, that popped up in my mind there. Thank you, Angie. Thank you. Thank you. Can I get chairs in the chat, please? Like, can y'all go find the chair emoji and just drop them in the chat? And Angie won't sit in those chats. Like, she won't sit in those chairs. She only sit in the chair that I post. But y'all just post chairs, please. Listen, I asked myself a question, right? I just thought something to myself, right? In my mind. I thought something in my mind. You know what I mean? First and foremost, I must say, and this sounds counterintuitive, but I kind of want to give the Cowboys some credit for how they've been moving this offseason. I kind of want to give them a little bit of credit in how they've been moving this offseason because we normally don't pat them on the back for doing things. But, you know, I was tapping in with Foots and Zach, and y'all can go to Foots' channel. We just did a show over there. Shouts out to him breaking 40K, by the way, and Zach for breaking 40K subs. I'm trying to get to 100 if y'all ain't doing nothing else. I was over there talking to them, and we was just talking about the Cowboys offseason, how everything played out. The Cowboys actually did a damn good job from the player personnel standpoint, right? Bringing guys in, how we drafting well. The guys that we brought in initially, you know what I mean? Like the Solomon Thomases and the Sam Barnes and the Kenneth Murrays and those groups. Ultimately, the trade for George Pickens. Ultimately, the older characters that we sign on the back end of this thing. Because there's a lot of room to sign guys where, you know, hey, you're going to make $38 a year. You're going to be here. And you're going to play a very important role for us. You understand what I'm saying? There's always that side of the game. But the one thing that we still, I would say, unclear about, on the fence, no true consensus about, let me get my Don DeMarco ready because we about to talk a little bit, is the Schottenheimer thing. Don DeMarco. On the surface, right? On the surface, it looks like an erratic hire. Like we didn't do our due diligence. When I say we, I mean them, not me. What's up, Jess? Happy Memorial Day. Hey, Sadiqa. Happy Memorial Day. It looked like the Cowboys didn't do everything that they possibly could to bring in these different coaching hires. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like they didn't cross every T and dot every single I that they possibly could in terms of looking at these coaching hires, right? They went through some interviews, not a lot. It wasn't extensive, but they went through some interviews. What if Shotty was the guy the whole time? What if Shotty was the guy the whole time? And what if Shotty was the guy because of the dirty macking job that he put in? What if Shotty was the guy because of the dirty macking job that he put in? For example, if Mike McCarthy's about to get a job and we were all there, what if Mike McCarthy about to get a job, right? What would Mike McCarthy say? Oh, man, I've been studying the Cowboys, man. I've been watching so much film. I've been getting familiar with analytics. You going to say what you got to say to get the job. It pissed me off because Mike McCarthy eventually came out and admitted to everybody that he lied because he wanted to get the job. Somebody should have smacked him then. But he said this. Chat, let me present something to you and then hit the war call because I think it's important. Chat, What if Schottenheimer was the perfect hire? Because he was aware of all the things that Mike McCarthy got wrong. Let me explain. Chat, y'all know one thing that I'm always complaining about? Chat, y'all want to know the one thing that I complained about the most with Mike McCarthy and them? I was like, damn, boy, why the hell Mike McCarthy keep hiring his friends? You know what I'm saying? That was one thing that kept bothering me. Mike McCarthy would hire these 90-year-old coaches. Their rent was due, so they needed some help. And Mike would tell us, look, Mike was honest, if anything. But Mike McCarthy would come out and be like, hey, man, look, man, Marty Morningwig gave me a job. Somebody, gave me my first opportunity or some shit. Lou Holtz's nephew, some dumb shit. They looked out for me when we was in school and shit, so I had to hold it down, Some old nonsense like that, man. What if Brian Schottenheimer was around, saw that, and in the interview, he went, man, Jerry, look, man, I'm not going to hold you, dog, man. I ain't trying to hire none of my friends, bro. I don't want to hire none of these old men that's rent due. I'm going to bring in the best coaches we can possibly find. And to Schottenheimer's credit, he did that. He did that. He didn't just go bring in some cats that he went to school with or some cats that his daddy knew. He went to find the best guys and he operated as such. I think that's hard. Man, we look at a couple of these first round picks, man. We look at the last few first round picks that been up in here. And man, it's just been, conversation floating around that guys don't like football as much. Man, they just ain't football guys in that way. It's just, man, those guys aren't they good players, man, but they don't have that offseason pedigree. What if Brian Schottenheimer went to the Joneses and said, hey, man, look, I'm not going to lie, bro. I'm not going to lie. We're not going to draft people like that no more. We're not going to draft people like that no more. I was talking to somebody about this. I believe it was like Ambar Garcia.
Did you hear what I said?
I don't know who I was talking to. I forgot. It was somebody I saw. But I was like, when that video came out, right, it was like Will McClay, and, he was making his points whether we should draft Mozzie or Bergeron, right? Mike McCarthy didn't have input on that. Mike McCarthy didn't have any input or insight on that. If you watch the video, Mike McCarthy just told a terrible joke. Man, can I find that? Can I find that somewhere? Hold on. Can somebody find that and tweet that to me, please? The damn video, so I can go and hear what the hell Mike McCarthy said. I just remember it being a terrible joke. Hold on. Will McClay, Dallas Cowboys, Mozzie Smith. What was it, like 2023 draft or something? Give me the video, please. Just pop up and just give me the video, please. Man, I'm up there watching the video and all we got was a bad Mike McCarthy joke that he giggled at. Can somebody find that video for me, please? So I can listen to to the goofy ass. Just tweet it to me, please. And Will McClay's making his point. Yeah, but we're gonna have an opportunity to do X, Y, Z, and this, and this, and this. And I just remember Mike McCarthy just saying some goofy shit that didn't help anybody. Just some goofy stuff that just didn't help anybody. I'll tell you what I did get an opportunity to see when I got a chance to work at .com on the draft show. I got a chance to see the Cowboys war room the whole time. I got a chance to look at it and see it. And one thing that I constantly saw? I saw Mike McCarthy Brian Schottenheimer vouching for his guy. every single time. And I wonder if Brian Schottenheimer went to Jerry Jones and said, "Hey man, listen, bro, man. Look, if I see something and I don't like it, man, I'm gonna tell y'all if I see something and I don't like it, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, if it's some nonsense, if it's some foo-foo going on, if it's some foo-foo happening around here, man, trust me, I'm gonna let you know if it's something I disagree with." And I think Jerry respect that. I think Jerry respect that, bro. These people was about to draft either Mozzie Smith or Andrew or Matthew Bergeron, and Mike McCarthy just sitting around going, "Well, right." We know for sure Brian Schottenheimer fought to get Tyler Booker up in here. We know that. We know that he fought to get Tyler Booker in here. I think that means something. Will McClay came out the other day and said, "Well, hey, with the whole George Pickens thing, boom, 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 Schottenheimer fought for this." Will McClay told you that. Hey, man, Schottenheimer went out and fought for George Pickens or fought for the idea of George Pickens. Where was Mike McCarthy when we was rolling nonsense out here? Where was he at? I think Brother Schottenheimer might be the perfect coaching candidate for the Dallas Cowboys because he's aware of the nonsense that was around him. He was aware that there was some Mike McCarthy fatigue going on, and he was the only one that was like, "Hey, bro, I'm a dirty Mac, and it's cool. It's cool." Even small stuff. Y'all listen to the players, they out there talking. I got some sound clips, by the way. We listen to the players, they out there talking, or you listen to the media talk about it and say, "Oh yeah, we got music here today. We normally don't get music at practice, but Whacked Out Murals was blaring today." Don't ask how I knew it was Whacked Out Murals. Y'all want to know why that matters? I wonder if Mike McCarthy was the head coach, somebody asked if they wanted if they could play music. Mike McCarthy said, "Nah." I'm curious if Schottenheimer went around to the guys and said, "Hey, dog, you want to have music at practice, huh? Oh, you do? Oh, you get in your zone when it's music at practice? Oh, you love it when it's music at practice? Oh, it put a smile on your face when it's music at practice? Oh, you a little more focused when it's music at practice? Oh, all y'all would love to have music at practice? You know what Schottenheimer did? I'll be damned." Hold on, man. Jay Bryant and Small Talks Ball tagged me on Twitter. Let me see what's happening for real. Let me just see something real fast. Hold on, we got two different videos. That one about 2 minutes. That one 1 minute. Okay, so we're gonna go with Smalls HD. This video 2 minutes. Let's just listen.
12th and 13th pick are on the board. You got Bergeron and you got Mozzie. Mozzie would create a dynamic that we do not have now, and he would take some of the pressure off our outside rushers. I'm ready to take the nose guard. I don't need any more about Mozzie. As far as I'm concerned, with the few minutes we've got right here, let's try to sell the hell out of Bergeron over Smith.
Hey, let's try to sell Bergeron over Smith real quick. Jerry Jones looking for something. Jerry Jones looking for something in particular right now. I believe it was Todd Archer was on the Doing All Right podcast. He was on the channel. We was talking to Todd Archer. And Todd Archer was basically alluding to the idea that the head coach has the most power out of everybody in that organization if he chooses to use it. The head coach got the most power out of everybody in that organization if he chooses to use it. I wonder if Brother Mike didn't use his power for whatever reason. And I just wonder, this ain't me telling y'all something, this is me assuming. I wonder if Jerry respects the idea that Schottenheimer will fight for his guy over Mike McCarthy, just whatever. Let's just keep on listening. What was this goofy ass joke that Mike McCarthy tried to say when Jerry Jones was looking for real counsel here? Here we go.
With the few minutes we've got right here, let's try to sell the hell out of Bergeron over Smith.
He's strong. He's very technical. I think he's got swing tackle ability.
Right.
If he does what we're all saying he can do, then you got your left tackle, you got your left guard, you got your fairly young center. And
Buffalo came up.
Oh,
Buffalo
okay,
came up.
get the Will McClay.
Who would you take? Personally, I would go with Mozzie.
Get to what I'm looking for. Get to what I'm looking for.
Will, who would you take? Personally, I would go with Mozzie. I love Bergeron, but I think Mozzie helps us now and in the future.
Right.
the nose guy is a hell of a strategic pick for us.
It is.
For our defense now.
It ain't work out,
Absolutely.
though.
Our run defense is better. Clearly, we pick him. He makes that impact, without a doubt.
Man, Mike McCarthy ain't saying nothing that nobody else is saying already. He was saying the same shit these other people saying. What was the joke he told? What that joke he told?
We line up at nose guard.
Cowboys, you offered what number?
What's that goofy ass joke Mike McCarthy told?
Okay, thanks.
Which one?
Like a fourth.
Are we on there?
No, we're on the clock.
What's that goofy ass joke Mike McCarthy told?
Spots for their third.
If we lose these two players and to get that 3.
It's crazy how excited these was. It's crazy how excited they was about Mozzie Smith looking back on it. I was like, boy, what the hell going on, dog? Anyway, hold on.
How sick are we compared to if we don't give up, we just give up the 3 and take one of these players? I without trying to influence anybody here, I'm sick of if we miss both those guys.
Give me what I'm
at the
looking
top,
for.
And we've been sitting here.
That's where I'm at. I mean, I take Moz.
I'm sick. I mean, there's a
Dog, Mike McCarthy ain't helping nobody right here, dog. I remember looking at the war room camera and Schottenheimer screaming, pointing that shit. You know what I'm saying? He's pointing that stuff, dog. He's giving you actual impact, actual input, and this whole time Jerry Jones is looking for feedback. He's looking for feedback. I will post a video, but .com. I spoke to the .com people about how they look for people using their video, so I ain't gonna play it. But dog, this whole time Mike McCarthy's just giving you nothing. I wonder if Schottenheimer gained a lot of respect from the Joneses by like how boisterous he was about what he wanted. I just wonder. Anyway, I couldn't find what I'm looking for. Maybe it's in this other clip. I don't know. I couldn't find Mike McCarthy had a terrible joke. There was yo, Mike, what you think about da-da-da-da? And Mike said, some old dumbass shit Mike McCarthy was saying that really bothered the hell out of me. I don't know. But, ladies and gentlemen, let me, hold on, let me see something. Let me see something. Yo. I'll find it later and post that shit. Let me get into some of these audio clips. This really gonna mean something to me. This really gonna pop out real quick. Schottenheimer was asked about Micah's contract. Shotty was asked about Micah's contract, and well, Brian, what you feel about him showing up or not showing up or all this? Shotty had this to say about Micah Parsons' contract and him possibly holding out and all this kind of shit. That's what he said.
I'm open and honest with all the players. When Mike is here, I want him to be the best version of himself when he's here. This is no different than Zach, a couple years ago, and CD. Like, this is big business. This is a National Football League, and there's negotiations, and there's things that go into it, and we all have advisors. I have an agent. We have advisors, we have agents, and so it's our job to support all of these guys. Again, take Micah's name out of it. It doesn't matter. Insert name, and I'm going to support him and talk to him. And hey, what do you need from me? What can I be doing for you? Hey, I'd love to have you here for this. If you can't be here, I get it. It's all voluntary. And I think people do well with very clear, bright lines. And if I'm calling a player and begging him to come, but yet I don't take the time to go and support him at a foundation event or go take him to dinner, then do I really have what's in their best interest? And if our players ever say I don't have their best interest, then I'm not doing my job.
I don't think Schottenheimer says anything for no reason. Brian Schottenheimer don't strike me as a character that doesn't say anything for no reason. Like, he'll give you a lot of information if you just let him talk. Like, if you just let Shotty run his mouth, he'll give you something. If you know what I mean? He'll give you what you're looking for. But Shotty don't strike me as a guy that's a rambler or he just says anything. He said, man, what kind of coach would I be if I'm trying to convince you to come to training camp? Or if I'm trying to convince you to come to, like, hey, bro, please come to camp, come to camp, come to camp, come to camp. But I'm not giving you nothing back in return. I wonder if that means something. Chat, just what does that mean? Oh man, I'm not finna call you and keep trying to get you to come to camp and I haven't done nothing for you. Why do you say that?
I think people do well with very clear, bright lines. And if I'm calling a player and begging him to come, but yet I don't take the time to go and support him at a foundation event or go take him to dinner, then do I really have what's in their best interest? And
why would he say that? Why would he just explicitly say that? If I had to assume, ladies and gentlemen, I would assume that it has something to do with maybe Mike McCarthy wanted something, but he didn't put in the time to build with these guys. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe that's why Brian Schottenheimer's he's going so heavy on this thing. I wrote this down. I said, I wonder if Shotty has always been this guy, or has he seen people roll their eyes at Mike McCarthy? So in that way, he knows how to move now because he knows exactly what makes this team tick. You see what I'm saying? I didn't write all that. That's just me talking. Because think about this, right? If you hire Schottenheimer to be like the play caller, head coach guy, I think now we got to have a conversation because I don't really know what your bag is as an official play caller. And when it comes to Schottenheimer calling plays, I think we should have a lot of questions when it comes to that because he's not Ben Johnson when it comes to an offensive play caller. But as a head coach, all you got to do is keep the team on the rails. You got to motivate these guys. You got to lead them. You got to prepare them, get them ready to play. He's got 30 years of experience. He ain't been a head coach, but he's got 30 years of coaching experience. But at the end of the day, you got to get dudes to buy in. At the end of the day, you got to get dudes to buy in. I wonder if Mike McCarthy was a cool dude, but he just didn't get enough to just get them to buy in. Here's Dak Prescott talking about Shotty's culture.
Hell of a job. He's doing a hell of a job. Great job in building the culture. I mean, look at him right there, seeing and dapping off guys, and that's him. You're going to see him around.
Hey, man, adapt means a lot to us. Let's be real for a second. Can we be real? Let me be real for a second. Let me tell you something that really happened. When I see Kyle Yeomans and Tommy Yarish, right? I shake their hand. I say, what's up, big dog? I'll give them a fist bump or I shake their hand. I say, what's up, my guys? Fist bump or I shake their hand. When I see Derek Eagleton, I go, hey, what up, man? You doing all right? I see Newey. What's up, New? You good? I see Pat NOC Walker. I see Barry Church. Isaiah my boy. You good? Let me tell you something that surprised the shit out of me. When I went out to shake Nick Harris' hand, I went like this. Slowly went like this. And by way of synergy and enzymes collaborating and they created a reaction, me and Nick Harris ended up going like this. And Nick say, it's cool, Voch, I got you. And we went like this. I was like, shit, Nick. I was like this. I was like, I'll be damn. You know what I'm saying? As a young African American gentleman, if you get a dap and a hug from somebody you wasn't expecting to get a dap and a hug from somebody, y'all got brand new energy now. Y'all got brand new energy now. And look, I'm cool with Tommy and Kyle. Shouts out to them. I'm cool with Tommy and Kyle. I just didn't expect to get a boom, bam from them. Neither did I expect that from Nick Harris. But not only did I get that from Nick Harris, but Nick was like, yo, Voch, I got you. Don't worry about it. And I was like, okay, cool. I bet. That means something to us. That means something to us. Especially if you got a football team full of us. It's 90 players on that team. 78 of them expect a dap and a, you know what I'm saying? I'll expect 72 out of 90 of them expect a dap and a boom, right? A dap and a bam. So when Dak Prescott says, oh, look at Shotty over there dapping people up, I didn't just hear that and it went out the other ear. I didn't just hear that and it went out the other ear. I bet you Mike McCarthy is hello guys, all right, you know what I'm saying? But it takes time to develop a dap. Bro, see, look, if I'm dapping somebody else that I expect to just boom, it's easy because we there. But there's a lead in, there's signaling, right? Because if I go like this, that means one thing. But if I go like this, that's something different. That's something different. If I go like this, that's something different. And then it ain't just a bam, right? Sometimes you can hit old boy with a boom, boom, bam. Like, you know, it's a lot of nuances that go into it. And you have to dap for years to just on the fly know how to engage with that dap. So when you see Roger Goodell dap 15 players in one night, all the daps different, man, Roger put time in there. And those black kids are surprised. Yo, Roger Goodell got the dap down. All the daps is different. If I walk up on Mickey Spagnola like this, he think I'm finna slap him. So what? Look, chat, I'm not trying to be entertaining right now. I'm not trying to be funny. Dak Prescott said this. That means something. That means something. Dak says, stop listening to me answer this question. Look at Shotty over there dapping guys up. He didn't say he's shaking hands over that motherfucker. He said he's dapping. Listen to him.
Good job in building the culture. I mean, look at him right there, seeing and dapping off guys, and that's him. You're going to see him around.
Like, dog, that means something. That means something. My phone going crazy. How many people on the phone? Okay, there's a couple people on here. All right, cool. Jack, I got you in a second. Dog, that means something. Let's keep running this.
Weight room, the field, the locker room. Preaching about competing every day, but not only that, we're doing them in team meetings, competing at practice, and that's the part about today's practice, right? Is that fine line of competing, but doing it smart and being disciplined about it. And he's just doing a hell of a job building the culture, and in a sense, starting over and understanding that, yeah, we do have to do it from the ground up, and it's been fun.
Man, we gotta do it from the ground up. We gotta do it from the ground up. You have to understand, Schottenheimer giving daps is a thing. Because if it wasn't a thing, Dak wouldn't have said it. He said it matter-of-factly. He said that shit. Oh, yeah. For example, look at him over there dapping people up. You just got to listen. Sometimes people will give you answers if you just listen. Hold on, chat. Give me 38 seconds. Let me set something up for y'all and I'll be right back. Hold on. Give me 22 and a half seconds. Don't go nowhere. Hold on. That means something here. Pardon me, man. I be screaming in the microphone sometimes. And I just be thinking people be hearing me on .com screaming in the microphone. They be like, too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. But dog, I be excited. I be excited when I be hearing this stuff, man. I be excited because I think a lot of the media characters, and that might be what, you know, that might be what I end up doing at .com. That may be what I bring to the party, right? Is, man, y'all really let that comment go in and out y'all ear and y'all ain't think to care about that. You know what I'm saying? But what is Schottenheimer's depth like? But a lot of people wouldn't be able to comment on that because they don't understand depth. Not depth philosophy, but like the science behind depth. You know what I mean? They don't understand the science behind that, man. It take time to get this stuff down. Let me run something else by y'all. I want to ask y'all this. Let me go and make a poll real quick. Let me make a poll real quick. Yes and no. If McCarthy was head coach, would he co-sign Pickens? I wonder if Mike McCarthy was the head coach, would he co-sign George Pickens? Chat, y'all let me know. Meanwhile, I'm about to play this clip. Boom.
Well, I think we did a ton of research into GP. Again, my interaction with GP has been incredible. I think he's going to fit in awesome with what we're trying to do here. You guys have talked to him, I think, over the phone, and he's all about, a new opportunity. So, we all change, we all adjust, we all grow. I'm thrilled with the way the guys have responded to him. Again, him and CD. It's a chance for he and CD. They've trained together. They're spending time together. I don't know what event they were at the other day where, they were some baseball game or something. But when we did our homework on GP, we don't have those concerns. And we're bringing him into a culture that we feel like he'll thrive just like everybody else. Why? Because it's important to us. And we're going to get to know him and learn his story just like we're learning the stories of Solomon Thomas and, David Overstreet and everybody else.
Man, we did a lot of research on Pickens, boy. Chat, I want y'all to listen. Man, let me check. Can we talk chat, let's talk. Chat, can we talk? Chat, can we talk? I'm about to start hitting the shit out of this war call. Chat, can we talk? Can we be real for a minute, chat? Can we talk about something for real? Can we talk? Y'all ready to talk? Y'all ready? Mike McCarthy didn't even know they traded for Trey Lance, bro. Y'all feel me? Y'all feel what I'm saying? Y'all hear me? Man, Mike McCarthy came out. It was like 105.3 The Fan. It was one of the morning shows. It was something. And Mike McCarthy was like, "Oh yeah, dog. I ain't even know they signed. I didn't even know that they traded for what's the name. I didn't even know that they." They didn't even have the decency to tap him on the shoulder and say, "Hey, we're trading for Trey Lance." They didn't even say, "Yo, Mike, what you think about Trey Lance?" They didn't say, "Yo, Mike, you want to get involved with this research on Trey Lance?" You understand what I'm saying? They didn't say, "Yo, Mike, what you think about the quarterback position? Mike, what you think about the backup quarterback?" They didn't ask Mike none of this shit. I'm telling you, look, chat, I know I just got in the building as an I know I just got in the building, but we can speak on this with the facts that we have. We can speak on this with the facts that we have. Mike McCarthy came on the radio and said, "Oh yeah, I didn't even know that they was trading for Lance, but I'm cool with that." Schottenheimer just said, in tandem with what Will said, because Will McClay said, "Hey, Shotty, push for this." Then Shotty came back to say, "Oh, bro, we've done all the research." What did he say? Let me make sure I got this quote right. He said, what he said?
Well, I think we did a ton of research into GP.
We done a ton of Doesn't make sense now. Shit is getting real. It's getting intense now. I hear you talk about we a lot. Oh, you speak French now?
Did you hear what I said?
Salute.
Oh, you speak French now? How the hell we go from Mike McCarthy not even know that we was trading for Trey Lance to Shotty was a part of the research? He was a part of the research. And not only was he a part of the research, he co-signed George Pickens. Are you kidding me? He was a part of the decision. He said, hey man, look, we did the research. That don't bother me at all. Chad, if I had to bet, and I'm going to move on to my next sound clip. I know I'm hitting the war call a bunch. I know I'm hitting this war call a bunch. If it's unnecessary, y'all can let me know. If I had to bet, chat, I bet you Schottenheimer was a part of them discussions, right? And I bet you Jerry asked Shotty. I don't have information on this because I know I work for .com a little bit. And people listen to what I say as reporting now. I'm not a reporter. I'm just a YouTuber. You feel me? But let me just be clear. I don't know nothing, but I'm assuming when I say this. I bet the conversation, well, this I know. This we all should know by now. It was between Rashad Bateman and George Pickens. Rashad Bateman is clean off the field, but he's not as good. George Pickens is a mile better, but his personality traits need us to do a little bit of research and investigating. He might be a little issue, but he's much more talented. If I had to bet, they asked Shotty, what you think? Shotty said, man, bring me that. Shotty said, if it's going to help us win, bring me that problem, bro. I'm willing to bet you that. I'm willing to bet that it went something like that. I'm willing to bet it went something just like that. Because we gave up the 3. Because it was a 3 associated with Jameson Williams too. With the Lions, we know that a 3rd round pick was associated with that too. But Pickens was clearly the best player. I'm willing to bet you. They said, yo, Shotty, Pickens the best player out this group. He just come with a little headache. Pickens said, man, that shit. Let me see something. Let me see. Let's talk about how impactful Pickens was in this situation, right? Or the impact that Pickens will bring to this situation. Like we just heard Schottenheimer talking about Pickens. Schottenheimer said, man, research, man. I don't need to do no research on it, man. He a dog. Bring him in. Chad, I want y'all to listen for something. Can I give y'all a little homework? Can I give y'all a little something? A little assignment, a little exercise? In this clip I'm about to play for you, somebody asked Dak Prescott about George Pickens. And Chad, tell me if I'm wrong, but when Dak started talking about George Pickens, in the middle of him explaining himself, he had to take a deep-ass breath to contain his excitement. Now, Chad, I could be tripping. I could be bullshit. I could just be all over the place, right? But when I heard Dak Prescott talking about George Pickens, it sounded like Dak went, man, George. You know, like Dak was so excited he had to stop and take a breath. Chat, I'm about to play the clip. Just tell me if I'm tripping. Here go Dak talking about George Pickens. Did he have to take a deep breath? He's so excited. Let's just listen.
Huge. Yeah, very huge. I mean, then look at that guy's tape. You see what he does, the kind of receiver that he is. He's going to win the one-on-ones. He can win 2 versus 1 if he has to. Very, very talented.
I got to take a deep breath. He was so excited. Dak had to go, man, this he say, ooh. Dak say, ooh. This boy, Chad, am I tripping? Let me run that shit back. Chad, just listen. Just listen. Dak had to take a deep breath to talk about this motherfucker. Just listen. Hold on, where my button at? Let me turn this shit. He had to take a breath.
Huge. Yeah, very huge. I mean, then look at that guy's tape. You see what he does, the kind of receiver that he is. He's going to win the one-on-ones. He can win 2 versus 1 if he has to. Very, very talented guy. When you can add him alongside of CD and the rest of the weapons that we have.
Hey, he's like, hey, man. He beat the one-on-ones. He beat 2-on-ones, too. He beat the 2. He beat the Angie, chill out. He beat the, you know what I'm saying? He said, man, he could be. He said he could be double T. He could play that. He's so good.
Huge.
He's so good.
Yeah, very huge. I mean, then look at that guy's tape. You see what he does, the kind of receiver that he is. He's going to win the one-on-ones. He can win 2 versus 1 if he has to. Very, very talented guy.
Hopefully he never has to. Hopefully he never has to win a 2-on-1. But if he had to win a 2-on-1, he can.
Guy's tape. You see what he does, the kind of receiver.
Go back to the breath.
Yeah, very huge. I mean, then look at that guy's tape. You see what he does, the kind of receiver that he is. He's going to win the one-on-ones. He can win 2 versus 1 if he has to. Very, very talented guy. When you can add him alongside of CD and the rest of the weapons that we have.
Man, yo, look, man, yo, like I love going to Golden Corral, man. I like everything out there. Which when they put that fish out there, man, Dak had to take a deep breath to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Man, where's CD at? Here goes CD talking about Pickens. Just listen to CD talk about him.
Man, we complement each other very well. Obviously, he's a tall figure. Obviously,
man, CD can't even talk, man. CD can't even talk. CD can't even talk right. Trying to talk about Joe Pickens. How excited he is about Joe Pickens up here.
He's a tall figure. Obviously, his ability to go up and get the ball at the highest point is amazing.
Amazing.
I don't think anybody in the league that can really. I mean, he's
amazing. He said, "Oh, his ability to go get the fuck is amazing." CD, Voch Lombardi, YouTube, Crown Media, DallasCowboys.com. What do you think about Brandon Cooks? Hey man, Brandon Cooks a good leader. Hey, he can run. You know, he's been in the league for a long time, man. Brandon Cooks is a good guy. You know, he's come in and you know we've embraced him already, man. Cooks is a guy. CD, Voch Lombardi, YouTube, Crown Media, DallasCowboys.com. What do you think about George Pickens?
Man, we complement each other very well. Obviously, he's a tall figure. Obviously, his ability to go up and get the ball at the highest point is amazing. I don't think anybody in the league that can really. I mean, he's up there with the guys in the league. You know, as far as 50-50 balls, deep threat, anything as far as running routes, it's pretty good. It's good to see.
It's good to see. It's good. I ain't never said Brandon Cooks. Yo, look, Jalen Tolbert been here in the yard with him. In the yard with him. There's a difference between trying to convince yourself that Jalen Tolbert is good and convincing the media that George Pickens is one of the best in the league. Man, it's different, man. It's different, man. They just excited to see George up in there, man. Just excited. Let me tell you how bad. Look. Let me tell you how excited it is. Let me tell you how excited how excited the team is. Pardon me, Chad. I'm excited. Chad, let me tell you how excited the team is about George Pickens. What is it? Somebody asked George Pickens, this is clip number 4. Somebody asked George Pickens, was CeeDee Lamb one of the first people that you reached out to? right? That makes sense, right? Because GP going to the Cowboys, of course, right? So it would make sense to ask that. Yo, George, is CeeDee Lamb one of the first people that you reached out to? Pickens said this.
He was actually one of the first people to reach out to me.
Shit. Chat, can we talk, man? Chat, can we talk, please? Can we talk?
Huge. Yeah, very huge. I mean, then look at that guy's tape. You see what he does, the kind of receiver that he is.
Look at that guy's tape. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all feel what I'm saying? Chat, do y'all feel what I'm saying to you? George Pickens was CeeDee Lamb one of the first people you reached out to?
He was actually one of the first people to reach out to me, besides Jerry and, the actual people. But, as far as players, he's one of the first players.
What was that conversation like with you two? Was it just...
Like I told him, just good vibes. He was super happy. Some of the guys on defense as well. Whole team super happy.
The whole team super happy?
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? This time. No, not this time. It's totally.
Everybody happy? Everybody happy? How many people you think lost a wink of sleep when Solomon Thomas got signed? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? For example, right? Michael was excited when we traded for Gilmore a couple years ago, right? Like he was excited about that. And he talked about how excited he was, but everybody wasn't excited. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's cool to have him. It's cool to have him, but everybody wasn't excited. CeeDee Lamb is a top 3 receiver in the league.
He was actually one of the first people to reach out to me.
He reached out to George. CeeDee Lamb being the guy reached out to George. Man, CD called me, dog. He said, "Oh yeah, even players on defense."
Super happy. Some of the guys on defense as well. Whole team super happy.
Are you kidding me? Let me tell you how much of a chokehold George got us in right now. Right? Let me tell you how much of a chokehold George got us in. And look, George, GP still got some crash out in him. You know what I'm saying? I could tell he do. But at the end of the day, this dude is a mover and a shaker. Let me tell you why I know this. Pickens is normally 14, right? He's been practicing at number 13. You know what I mean? He's just been practicing in 13. So one would assume he's going to end up with 13. Somebody say, "Hey, yo, GP, what's the deal with number 13? Is there a story behind that number?" GP said this.
No, nothing's really finalized right now. It's just it's a whole bunch of numbers. My guy Trey Sean, he got number 7. And then, Trey's got number, you see what I mean? So, everybody's working right now.
Hey, man, Marquise Bell had to. Hey, Marquise. Hey, Marquise. Let me tell you something. If 4 vouching for you, if 88 call him first, and the whole team is excited, yo, Marquise Bell, you're going to have to come out of there 14, bro. Marquise, you're going to have to come out there 14, bro, on everything. And let me tell you how cold GP is, right? He's still media trained in his crash out nonsense. He don't say, "Oh, yeah, somebody going to have to come up off of 14. He basically said that, "Oh, yeah, 14, yeah, I'm waiting. He might not even make the team. I'm waiting on 4. But he said, "Hey, man, hey, everybody just working hard. Hey, everybody just doing their thing. Hey, look, look."
No, nothing's really finalized right now.
He said, look, hey, look, even Marquise ain't saving 14.
Did you hear what I said?
He said, look, ain't nothing finalized for real. We just waiting on it to all clear up.
Right now, it's just everybody's, it's whole bunch of numbers. My guy Trey Sean, he got number 7.
He said everybody got all kind of numbers. He said look, even Dak came out number 26 yesterday. He said ain't nothing going on. He said, man, look, everybody got a number. He said nothing's official right now. Look, y'all just hang tight. Y'all just hang tight.
7, and then Trey's not number. You see what I mean? So like everybody's working right now.
He stopped himself. He stopped himself just to go back to the media training and just be like, yeah, man, we all just working out.
Everybody's working right now.
We all just working, bro. Ain't nothing going on. We just working it out. We just working it all out. GP say, yeah, look, I'm wearing 13 right now, man. But just wait till we get to August. Wait till we get to August. I can't be wide receiver 1B and the safety that and the special team safety that can't get on the field just hogging 14 like that. Look, we like Marquise Bell, but in the grand scheme of NFL clout, Marquise will get kicked off the team and brought back before they just let him hog 14 like that. She said, man, look, we just working right now. It ain't nothing too crazy. I got a couple more that we gonna get into the calls, man. I'm just thrilled to have this guy. He said, man, CD reached out to me, dog. GP, what have you learned from CD so far? I think it's a terrible question. They just started practicing, but GP, what you learned about CD so far?
Just intermediate stuff. He's a great, he got great feet. So stepping in certain places, he steps in place a lot, which means like he can get to where he's going fast in a short space. And he's tall. You know, a lot of people don't know he's kind of tall.
You know what I'm saying? I thought that was a very interesting football nugget that GP just kind of dropped right there. Like you know how Pittsburgh and national media and Steeler writers or whatever have framed George Pickens. They frame him as like this knucklehead YN character. You know what I'm saying? That ain't got a technical amount of football in his body that, just some goofy, foolish looking kid that just shows up. He's just more athletic than everybody. Listen to George Pickens talk. Listen to him speak. George Pickens sounds like any other player. He sounds like any other guys that's out there. He's well spoken. George Pickens speaks better than a lot of some of the guys on the team already. I won't specifically name out anybody on the team in particular that George Pickens speaks a little better than. But just based on how they sell it to you, you would assume that George Pickens is just some knucklehead. He don't know the plays. He don't practice. He just kind of show up. He don't work hard. He just ignorant as hell. George Pickens didn't give me any of that. What he said about CD? He said he steps in place a lot. So he
got great feet. So stepping in certain places, he steps in place a lot, which means like he can get to where he's going fast in a short space. And he's tall. A lot of people don't know he's kind of tall.
He's even explaining the nuanced football term that he's trying to get everybody to understand. Like, what's there not to like? What's there not to like? Look, as long as ain't nobody calling the police to his house, as long as he ain't speeding, as long as he ain't the plug for real, I don't have a bad thing to say about GP. I don't have a bad thing to say about GP, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because look, if you think about some of these other wide receivers in the league, right? They got police reports under their name. They crash out. Maybe even worse than this. Some of these kids getting into high-speed chases with the damn police. You know what I'm saying? Or just in general, like that's the new thing, right? Like somebody being reckless. These young kids get these new cars. They drive reckless. They end up hitting people, and they don't. You know what I'm saying? We don't hear that from GP. But if we did,
there are times in life you wish you had a do-over. A chance to warp back in time to change your fate. Back to before you made the wrong choice. If you're in a wreck, make the smart choice right away. Frankel and Frankel, chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frankel.
Hey, man, shouts out to the Frankels, man. 214-333-3333. They are the greatest, bestest personal injury lawyer in the DFW. If you've been hit by a big truck or a negligent driver and it wasn't your fault, tap into the Frankels 214-333333 or go to frankelfirm.com. You can go to Frankel Firm, scroll down and see testimonies about how much money that they've made people by dealing with these trucking companies and these negligent drivers. They know exactly what to do to the insurance companies. They used to work for the insurance companies, so they took all that knowledge and they started working against those people for you in the DFW. Tap in with the Frankels 214-333-3333. All right, let's get into the phone. See what we talking about. I ain't really got no other work to do today, so we can make this a long segment, relatively. But y'all just understand we got a bunch of callers, so just tap in. I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. Let's get Jack on the phone. He was here first. What up, Jack?
Hey, Voch, what's happening?
It's been a minute, brother. What's up? What's good with you?
It has been a minute. Voch, how you doing? You all right?
Blessed, brother. I can't complain.
I see your blessings and your dreams are coming to fruition. All right. You all right. Now, with all the pleasantries out the way.
Yes, sir.
With all due damn disrespect, oh, Voch, we squabbling now. No, matter of fact, we ain't squabbling no more. We whooping ass, bro, and it ain't even close. You know what I'm saying? The vibe, it feels different. Like, if you look at the interviews this year compared to under Mike McCarthy, you see more life into the players. You see more enthusiasm, even when they talking about each other. So I feel like the culture is changing slowly but surely, but they churning. They in there working. From the people we brought in, the draft picks, and George Pickens, baby. They got Commanders and Eagles fans asking me about George Pickens before I can even mention anything about the Cowboys and start talking about us.
Damn.
I'm like, damn. Y'all like us like that? What's going on, though, man?
They nerves bad, Jack. You know what I'm saying? And they can act like they don't care.
And I love it.
They can act like they don't care, but they know they know something's on the way.
And see, me being in D.C., boy, when I say I talk so much shit because to keep my teeth clean, I can't talk that much. You hear me? So I'm just saying, I like when they worry. I revel in their misery. But I think our draft pick, I think 4 out of our draft picks are going to start, and they're going to be key contributors to the team this year. Man.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't want to keep it long. I just wanted to get in, tap in with you. I love what you're doing, you and Brian, you and all your success with the star, all that, man. Man, I appreciate watching the growth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, man, keep doing your thing, and always remember, if ain't nobody got you, Jack got you. Bless you.
Appreciate you, man. That mean the world to me, Jack. Hey, man.
Already.
Jack ain't lying. Everybody seems to notice, you know, or all of a sudden everybody has an opinion about the George Pickens deal. You know what I'm saying? If the Cowboys would have re-signed Brandon Cooks, or you could just take it back to when the Cowboys went to go trade for Brandon Cooks, right? It wasn't this big of a hubbub. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knew CeeDee Lamb was good, but Brandon Cooks along with CeeDee Lamb, I mean, that's dangerous, but it's cool. CD and GP is a whole nother fight. I just need them to understand. All right. Let's get Roland's reviews on the phone. Hey, Ms. Roland.
How you doing, nephew? I haven't talked to you in a while, but I never stopped watching.
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm just working. You know how I do.
Yeah, I just wanted to call and let you know. Again, I haven't called in a while because you know how the grind is, working every day, and,
For sure.
and school is out, so I'll start calling a little bit more.
Yes, ma'am.
But just wanted to let you know I'm still supporting you and proud of you and your progress, and you just, proving every day that through hard work and tenacity, and just being a good human being, good things will come to you. And I just love what you're doing with Brian Broaddus. I'd love to meet him myself because I've been watching him for years. Wow. And to me, he is the gospel. When he says it, okay, and he doesn't have any fake news. I love it.
Yes, ma'am.
So I've been watching him for years. I've been watching you for years. And I love the tandem, the two of you together. To me, it's just perfect. And I'll continue to follow you in your new endeavors. Okay. And Auntie didn't cook anything today. I know that normally when I call in, you're like, all right, Auntie, what you got on the stove? Auntie did not cook. But yeah, I'm just so proud of you. And again, you just prove that, keep doing what you're doing and work, working hard, treating people with dignity and respect, and good things will come to you. Also, I wanted to say that I'm excited again. I will be watching Cowboy football again this season. I stopped last season because I knew it was going to be a train wreck.
Yeah, me too.
And I also feel that, I've said this for a while. They never, Mike McCarthy was not the best. He wasn't the worst. But they never went all in for Mike McCarthy the way they've done with Brian Schottenheimer. And let me say this. Now, one of my all-time favorite classes in college was, one of the components was self-fulfilling prophecy. And the player, and when a person's expectations, and me as an educator, I get it, okay, and I'm sure you know what self-fulfilling prophecy is.
Yes, ma'am.
And I see it in the classroom. And so the coaches, if you look at the way the players operated under Mike McCarthy, I feel that there will definitely be a difference. You can't tell me those players could not feel and see the same things that we were feeling and that we were seeing. They knew that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones were never this, like 100% behind Mike McCarthy. That they just weren't. And so, I love psychology. And so I look at it, and yes, they did some, but every time it was a big game, it was like going back to the Jason Garrett era, we crashed and burned. And this is significant because, and I said last year when we, decided, we're just going to, work with what we have. And I said this because I called into Law Nation and Mark Holmes, and I've said this. Those players are not going to go all out because they know that the owners at the top did not go all out. They're not putting their bodies on the line. You're showing them it's not that important to you. And I feel that, there's been a difference, culture change, whatever they're calling it. But I feel now they're serious. They know Shotty is serious. The players, they're receiving him. They know he's real. And I think that we will see some good results because now they know that this is a serious situation. The Joneses are actually bringing in talent, not the dollar store talent, And so I feel that we will definitely see significant changes, not saying, and I think we're going to still get about 10 to 12 wins, but this was definitely needed because when you don't, as an educator, if you don't expect, and I'm sorry, but this is what I've done for 27 years, so I have to interject with what I know. When a student comes into my classroom, if I have very low expectations for them. Well, guess what? They're just going to sit there and just do, the least amount. But when they come into my classroom, hey, these are my expectations, and this is what I expect you to adhere to. And so when you require students, or just like when coaches require players to stand and rise, like the cream rises to the top,
they respond.
They will.
They respond in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they respond. I've seen it in the classroom, dear. I have. And so, like I said, I like this change. I tell you, I was so disgusted. I did not look at. I stopped looking at their games because, going back to the self-fulfilling prophecy, I knew we were going to crash and burn. We were set up to fail. And now, Mike McCarthy, like I said, he wasn't the best, but we can't say the entire time that he was here, he was given, the best to actually succeed at the highest level. He was not. And those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. Wow. And so I'm back on board. I'll start watching Cowboy football again. Those of you who are not old enough to remember, the last time we won in '95, I was still in college, and that's the best feeling in the world. And had I known, Voch, you know Voch. Yeah. So me and all my friends were, at a bar watching, of course. Had I known it was going to be such a long drought, I would have cherished it even more. Right. And Voch, one more. I have one question for you.
Please.
Whatever happened to your cat, your black and white cat? I never forgot.
Sometimes when people don't get along, there's custody battles, and I ain't win it.
Okay. Well, yeah. Just take the dog, cat, whatever, and go on.
Yeah, just go.
Life is too short. Okay. I got you.
Listen, let me tell you something, Auntie. This call was food for my soul. There was a ton of information in it, and everybody in the chat loved it as well. I loved it too. It felt like a great big hug, and I'm very grateful that you called in and blessed us with that. So thank you very much. Glad to have you back.
Yes, sir. I'm still. Oh yeah, love your channel. I love what you do. Keep it up. You are inspiring. Again, this shows people what, good things can come if you're willing to put in the work. And this is what I tell my students. So, yeah, I may not call in often because, teaching high school, I stay pretty busy.
Yes, ma'am.
But I've never stopped following you. And like I said, when you hooked up with Brian B., because I was angry. Do you remember when he was working for the Cowboys? And then, you say you have to be on eggs, walking on eggshells, and then they got rid of him because he didn't kiss their butt.
Yeah.
And I was angry for a long time. So when he came back into the fold, and now you're working with him, life is good. I love it. And I will support you and Brian in your new endeavor. Auntie will be there.
Thank you so much. That means the world to me. You have a good one now, okay?
Yes, sir. You too. Bye-bye.
Hey, let me tell y'all the best part about that call, right? Self-fulfilling prophecy, Voch. You're an intelligent young man. You know exactly what that is. She'd be right. She'd be right. All right, let's get back into it, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Appreciate y'all being so patient. Sometimes I let some people talk a little longer than others. You know what I'm saying? The rest of y'all got to earn y'all way, but it's all right. Let's get Martise up in here. What up, Martise?
Yo, what's up?
What's good with you, my guy? What you got for the show?
Not much. Congrats on everything. Love seeing you make more moves.
Yes,
but I'm ready to fight, bro.
Okay.
I need to pick and smoke. What? Part of me is like, Voch. Is this like Voch hoping, this goes well? Is this Voch like, all right, I can see the best possible things in Pickens, and maybe Dak is just going to get all that out of him, and he's behind CD, so that'll help too?
What do you mean?
Because, I listen, literally, I listen to everything.
Sure.
So the one thing that had me scratching my head is some of the rankings that I heard with you putting Lamb and Pickens like the second best duo or something like that.
Sure.
Somewhere up in there.
Sure.
So I'm just curious as to what did you see from Pickens that would give you that basically he's up there with dudes that have been doing it better than he has. They do pretty much everything better than him, or at least they have your modern day elite traits. Like what's the Pickens? What's the Pickens scouting report? I guess that I feel like I'm missing there.
Well, I don't have to give you the report because I think you know who he is as a player, but I'll at least give you my thoughts on why I'm
just a couple things. Yeah, I don't mean the whole report. Just a couple.
Sure. Well,
a couple nuggets, I guess.
Well, I think context matters, and I think Pickens in that scheme on that offense with the collection of quarterbacks that he's had, and if you think about the corners that he's able to beat in man-on-man coverage, I think corners. Wide receivers winning versus zone is more so of a scheme thing. Right. But when you can beat a corner one-on-one, I think that's more about skill. So if you just look at last year, you can only look at last year. You could at least say, okay, well, some of the names that he was able to beat with a goofy Russell Wilson or a goofy Justin Fields, names like Sauce Gardner, Surtain, DJ Reed, Denzel Ward 2 times, whether it be the kids over in Washington, the Ravens corners. I think what he's done from a skill set wise, one-on-one versus the best corners with not the best passers, with not the best scheme, I can only imagine that him. Oh yeah, also too with him doing it by himself, like with him being like the clear best receiver on that team. I think if you give him a better passer, more wide receiver help, and not just regular wide receiver help, like a Brandon Cooks type wide receiver help would help him, but he's going to get a CeeDee Lamb type wide receiver help with a passer like Dak Prescott. Wouldn't you feel like that put George Pickens in that same company as the rest of those guys?
I'm big on how you do what you do, right? And I say the same thing about I'm gonna do this really quick. When I look at Dak, I've never seen Dak in a great offense, and I've still seen Dak put up an MVP season. All right, I've never seen. The only time we even saw Dak with a high level line was like young dumb Dak.
Sure.
Right. When I look at George Pickens, I see a guy who was on that team as the number one.
The conference has been locked.
Only saw him win one way. Pretty much jump ball or bully you.
Mm-hmm.
I very rarely have I seen George Pickens route somebody up or remotely consistently getting separation.
How does AJ Brown win? How does AJ Brown win? How does AJ Brown win?
AJ Brown is more explosive than George Pickens.
How does he win?
So I meaning like
how does he win?
When you watch George Pickens,
how does he win? How does AJ Brown win?
Go ahead.
How does AJ Brown win? How does AJ Brown win?
Explosiveness, strength, size, hands.
Okay, AJ Brown either runs slants and he's a yak guy, or he runs nines and he jumps over people. So that's like two ways for real. AJ Brown's not routing guys up.
I'm not as worried about the route, right? Okay. Randy Moss only won on a couple routes.
Perfect. So in that same case, why would you bring up Pickens in his routes and how he wins?
Because I brought up Pickens not getting separation. You heard me say bully you or jump over you. AJ Brown runs by people.
I think Pickens has film of him running by people. He don't do it all the time. But my overall point is that you're saying, Pickens only wins in a handful of ways. AJ Brown also only wins in a handful of ways.
Well, no, I'm saying Pickens wins strength, jump over, 2, or i.e. 1, physical, jump ball physical, same thing. Mm-hmm. I watch AJ Brown run by people.
You see him.
That one thing is the difference between. That's the difference between Hall of Fame wide receiver or All-Pro wide receiver and just a Pro Bowl guy.
I think you're talking in a circle right now, because now you're saying how good is he doing that one thing. George Pickens, by the numbers, is a top 2 deep threat in the league. That ain't my opinion. That's by the numbers. And
George Pickens is absolutely not a top 2 deep threat, bro.
I mean, you can look the shit up. It's by the NFL analytics. This ain't my opinion.
Are you talking about him? Are you talking about his peak year with yards per catch?
I'm talking about last year. No. I'm talking about last year as a deep ball guy in a nonsensical offense with nonsense quarterbacks. He's a top 3, top 2 deep threat in the league as a wide receiver.
I guess you'd have to show me what, or just tell me, or somebody in the chat.
Google is free.
Tell me what metric that's being judged by.
Google is free.
I can't imagine a world in which he's a better threat than Justin Jefferson was.
Google is free.
I don't know what metric you're using. Are you using yards per catch? Are you using
all the deep ball numbers? All the deep ball. Google is free. Google is free. Look it up, please. Google is free.
Okay, so just so I understand clearly,
Way,
this is going to be at the end of the day, if Pickens, and I guess I'll leave it at this.
Okay.
If Pickens is who a lot of people are saying he is, which I don't like, I view a dramatic difference between somebody who can bully you and run by you, like Dez. Right? Dez was, and a lot of people might not like this, Dez was, assuming if he didn't get hurt, Dez was going to be pushing at that Hall of Fame level, like he was going to have some Hall of Fame level trajectory to him.
I don't think anybody's gonna disagree with you there. Well, go ahead.
Okay. And the difference if you ask me what's the difference between Dez and Pickens, Dez was more elusive and he's faster.
How does T. Higgins win?
T. Higgins is more explosive than George Pickens.
How does he win?
Similar ways to George Pickens, he's a better route runner. He's more explosive.
You think T. Higgins is a better route runner than George? You don't think they're on the same page?
Absolutely.
You don't think George Pickens and T. Higgins are on the same page as route runners?
Absolutely not. If you ask me to be honest, you can call it an opinion from what I've seen. If George Pickens was a T. Higgins route runner, we wasn't getting him for a third round pick.
Okay, how about this then? Because we just gonna have to disagree on that. How about this? You disagree with where I had the ranking of Lamb and Pickens. Where would you rank them?
I'd probably say off the top of my head, I would definitely things that are not comparable: Bengals, Eagles. There's somebody else in there I'm missing a little bit. I probably would put them right behind Jefferson and Addison right now.
You think Addison's a better receiver than Pickens?
I would say no. I don't think he's better. I'll put them directly next to each other, and I give Jefferson the edge on Lamb. Is the way I label them two.
Okay, so
like I'm okay if somebody said Pickens was better than Addison, I'll say okay. If I heard somebody say Addison was better than Pickens, like it's an argument either way.
Okay, so how does Addison win? Does Addison got a whole bunch of different ways he wins?
Yep. I mean, well, a whole bunch of different, no, but route running, premier, quickness, speed, high level, his hands and physicality are in the lower end. But in today's NFL, that's harder to cover. Like if you went and asked any DB in the league, unless he's pretty much any DB, would you rather deal with the guy who can beat you in a whole bunch of different ways, or pretty much the guy you only really got to worry about jumping over you?
How about
or pushing you around?
So it's interesting. It's interesting, Martise. You discredit for George Pickens only being great in two different ways, and he's really good in those
because
two.
He doesn't run by people.
So who cares? Who cares? But who cares, Marcy? He don't win that way. That ain't how he wins. Who cares if you don't? Because look, ask Pat Surtain. George ain't got to run past Pat Surtain, but look at how many times he was on his hip, but he couldn't stop George Pickens. And Pat Surtain could be the best corner in the league. So why does that matter? Can Jordan Addison consistently beat Pat Surtain?
Consistently, probably not.
Pickens got it on film. It's on film.
I think this is the mistake, though, right? I respect your position on Pickens being able to do certain things against number one corners, right? The issue is, why didn't he do that against regular people then? I heard you mention 6 to 7 Pro Bowl level, all pro level corners.
Sure.
But when you rate George Pickens' efficiency over his career, he's nowhere near top 20 as a wide receiver.
So let me ask you
Yards
this.
in separation per route.
So let me ask you this.
Touchdown per catch.
Sure.
His career high in touchdowns is 4.
I covered all this when we first started talking about this. How much do you think Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, old ass Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields have to do with that? What do you think that has to do with that? And then you said career, so we got to include Mason Rudolph in that. Wouldn't you think that got something to do with that?
The touchdowns, yes, not the separation.
What you mean?
Meaning, at the end of the day, it wouldn't matter if, technically it would matter if I'm out there. If Mason Rudolph is the quarterback,
and
you're a guy who can get...
So really, Martise, what this sounds like is you just don't like you have a certain type of receiver you like, and Pickens just happens to not be that kind of guy. So here's what.
Not quite.
So
not
listen.
Quite.
So listen. Here's
I have a certain type of.
Please go ahead.
I have a certain type of ceiling that I'm gonna put on a guy until he shows me it doesn't matter. Is what I'm saying.
I just got
until Pickens shows me it doesn't matter that I don't get separation. It doesn't matter. Then I'll be happy. I hear Cowboy. We traded a 3rd round pick for him. We need that pick. I hope he go crazy. Like you say all the time. I hope he go absolutely crazy. But I watch George Pickens, not just the film, not just his stats. I watch him when they need him consistently to get a 3rd and 7, to get a 2nd and 9. He's not getting separation.
Let me ask you another question. Since you watching, since you watching George Pickens, right? I'm assuming that you watched him closely. I watched film closely too. Do you think that his offense has something? Because I covered that as soon as we started talking. Do you think that the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive scheme would have something to do with that? He's not separating from guys, but did you see the large amount of hitches and slants that George Pickens had to run? Just like CD had to run with damn Mike McCarthy. Wouldn't you agree that your separation number's gonna be down if you're running hitches all the time? Wouldn't you agree?
When you George Pickens, absolutely. Yes.
So what the fuck what you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about?
But look. At the end of the day, my question is this, right? If George Pickens is the way I'm hearing him being talked about, we're not talking about a good number 2.
Sure.
The way I'm hearing people talk about him is we're talking about a legitimate number 1, and the question becomes, are we going to get that outcome that I'm hearing? Because if I know who Dak is, I don't have questions about Dak. So Dak being Dak and he's next to CD, it's about to get ugly for folks. And I just haven't seen that George Pickens on the field the way I hear people talk about him.
You know what, Martise?
I've seen a big play guy. I've seen a sometimey guy. I haven't seen a he out there, you need to be scared guy.
Martise, let me tell you something. Opposing defenses are terrified of George Pickens. You may not be. But if you watch film like you say you do, opposing defenses are terrified of George Pickens, sir. Because if George Pickens wasn't like that, they wouldn't put their best corners on him, sir.
As opposed to nobody?
Well, I mean,
as opposed to...
I'm not putting my best corner on Brandon Cooks. I'm not putting my best corner on... I'm not putting my best corner on Mario Addison. And look.
Everybody did that when Jefferson was out.
Martise, even if I did put my best corner on Mario Addison, that ain't proof that he whooping ass. Even if I did put my best corner on Brandon Cooks, that ain't proof he whooping ass. They'll take Jair Alexander, put him on Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks will disappear. I've seen them take their best corner because that's what matters. All the rest, you know what? Pardon me. I apologize, Martise. The other shit didn't matter. Erase that I said that. It's not that they put their best corner on him. It's that he's whooping feet when he gets there. He's whooping feet when he gets there. So you mean to tell me, Martise, you projecting George Pickens versus number 1 corners and you don't see the vision? Now there's another projection of George Pickens versus number 2 corners with a better quarterback, better offensive help, and better scheme, and you still can't see the vision? Shit. Shit. All right, Martine. Yo, Martine, I appreciate you, bro.
You made the comments about Pickens against Surtain. He had 2 catches for 29 yards.
You beat the shit out of him too. But what you think didn't happen? What's the name, Martine? What you think didn't happen?
I'm sure he talked to.
What you think didn't happen, Martine?
I'm sure
you watched the film. Hold on, Martise. You watched the film.
I didn't see that film.
No, you said you watched the film. Martine, you said you watched the film.
I didn't see that.
You watched the film. Why you googling numbers, Martise? You said you watched the film. When I watched the film, I saw him whooping feet.
That's not because in my head, that one would have been the one that would have came up.
Scheme and quarterback matters, Martise. I don't remember
much of anything to Surtain.
Scheme and quarterback matters.
I was like, okay, I didn't even see that game.
Scheme and quarterback matters, Martise. So in my mind, you saying you watch the film.
Washington Commanders.
Sir?
Terry McLaurin, is he better than Scary Terry?
Is George Pickens better than Terry McLaurin?
Yes.
Ask yourself that, Martise. They win.
No.
They win the same way. Ask yourself. They win the same way. Ask yourself, Martine.
They don't win the same. Oh my God.
Okay,
all right. I think I got it.
We disagree then. We just disagree.
Scary Terry, with all types of quarterback problems, has had 1,000 yards pretty much every year, and it would have been much worse if he had a better quarterback.
Martise, why don't you name off some of those quarterbacks, Martise?
For who? The Steelers?
Terry McLaurin. Just name off some of them quarterbacks.
Pretty sure he had Mariota at a point. Last year they had Jaden Daniels. Mm-hmm. That went well. We go back a couple years before that. I think they was like one of the worst teams in terms of quarterbacks over the last year.
Just name some of them quarterbacks. Yo, Mark, I'm just asking you. Look, because when you asked me about Pittsburgh, I named 5.
They had Fitzpatrick.
Mm-hmm.
They had Taylor, somebody, the backup, perennial backup. They made the playoffs with him, Taylor Heineke or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of other ones. I don't even remember.
All those quarterbacks are better than Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph.
Not Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson ain't shit. Russell Wilson ain't shit. And then look, even if you go last year's quarterback, Jaden Daniels better than Russell Wilson. So we could take away last year and move in front of that, right? Can we do that?
Sam Howell.
Can we do that?
Sam Howell.
Kenny, is Mason Rudolph even in the league? Is he even in the league now?
He's still in the league. He's a Steelers starter again, which is a whole nother conversation.
Well, that's because they bullshit.
But look, I don't want to come off like I'm saying I think Pickens is a bum.
That's how you coming off, motherfucker.
I don't want to come off.
That's how you coming.
I don't want to come off like I think that. So let me just say this and
that's
get
how you
off
coming
the
off.
line.
I thought you watched film,
Pickens.
Martise. How you gonna open up the discussion saying I watched film and then start googling numbers against me?
I didn't watch that game.
And then
watch the Broncos game.
And then start googling numbers versus me. AJ Terrell, did you watch the Falcons game too? Did you watch the Falcons game too against AJ Terrell?
Yes, he did. He did great against AJ Terrell. Yeah,
man, bye, Martise. Yo, Martise, this was a good call, sir. I appreciate it. Fantastic call, Martise.
It's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer. Not this time. It never happened. It's false. It never happened. It's a fake. It's fiction. It's an urban legend that never happened. No way. We got you. Not a chance. Not this time. It never happened. It never happened. We made this one up. It's fiction. We made up this one. We made it up. Not this time. Wrong. Not this time. Not this time. You're wrong. Not this time. It never happened.
I ain't mad. I wasn't upset. Y'all just don't be coming out here talking in circles, man. You know what I'm saying? Just don't be coming out here talking in circles. I feel like how I be opening up. I think I like to cover all bases. You know what I'm saying? I be like, hey man, quarterback play scheme, wide receiver help, I think that's all gonna matter. But chat, let me tell you what's gonna end up happening. Marti's gonna keep calling in. That's what I like about it. If I like anything about Marti's gonna keep calling in. I love that about him. He gonna call in, and we just gonna have to have an update on Brother George. I don't feel right calling somebody so young George. You know, like I know that's his name, but George is such an uncle name. George, GP. That's like if you meet this, meet some chick and she 25 or something. Her name Gladys. You know what I'm saying? Like what a 25-year-old Patty's at. You know what I mean? He's a 25-year-old George. So I be wanting to call him GP. I don't want to just call him George. You know what I mean? But yeah, GP. 25-year-old Gloria is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Betty. You know what I'm saying? Let's get Big A on the phone and see what he talk about. What's up, Big A?
Hey, Voch, how you doing today?
What's good, my guy? What you think about George Pickens, man? You think he better than Jordan Addison?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'll just ask. All right, go ahead, please.
No, I got you. All right. I got to thinking today. I want to bring in a, I guess it could be considered, I know we don't focus on like stats and stuff like that for players because, we want to win. All we care about is we win.
Yeah.
But I want to focus on the quarterback a little bit. I like that. I love that. And I looked at his career. I looked at a lot of his career stats, and I looked at a lot of his career stats. By the end of this year, Dak Prescott will be, if everything goes right, by the end of this season, Dak Prescott is going to break the all-time passing yards leader for the team.
Of course he will.
And he's going to pass Romo for the touchdown.
Of course.
And he'll tie or if not pass Romo for the touchdown mark. And he'll be within shooting distance of passing Troy Aikman for all-time wins. And it made me think. So over the course of these next 4 years for his contract, and that's all we do for him. If Dak Prescott's able to stay healthy the whole time, and he stays healthy the whole time, he's playing the whole time, what is the thing that you think would be considerable for him to be a Hall of Famer? Does he need to win the Super Bowl, or does he consider a Hall of Fame quarterback if he just gets there?
This is where I'm going to become obnoxious. I'm going to really be insufferable. If you look at some of the other quarterbacks that are in the Hall of Fame, it looks like you just got to win a Super Bowl one time. Some of them just kind of are great, like Marino's great, or like sometimes you can just get in by just being so old that you did something first, like Fran Tarkenton, like Fran, like come on, dog. like Fran Tarkenton ain't tearing it up in any generation, but he was the first run around guy, so they'll give it to Fran Tarkenton. They won't let Mike Vick in there, but they'll let Fran Tarkenton in there for running around. But for the most part, I think what makes you a Hall of Famer, you just need one Super Bowl. 2 will guarantee you a spot, but 1 and breaking a bunch of records, they can't stop you from that. They can't stop you. So this is where I become insufferable. I just need Dak to win 1. And I'm going to jail. I'm terrorizing the internet. I'm tagging people. I'm whooping feet. I'm going on everybody's platform. I'm going to be annoyingly insufferable. And we're going to make a lot of money doing it. We're going to be up. The numbers going to be through the roof. The numbers going to be through the roof. But don't let Rain Dakota Prescott win a Super Bowl and I'm on this earth alive at the same time. Knock on wood, Lord willing. Because in my mind, he's automatically he's automatically a Hall of Famer at that point. You win a Super Bowl, you a Hall of Famer. Now, he's a Cowboy quarterback. So they not just going to let him in off of stats and numbers alone. Like, he got to break, like, Peyton Manning records or something. But, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if you're going to do that or not. But you win. If you win a Super Bowl, you win. If you win a Super Bowl, you in, sir. I don't think they're going to treat Dak like like Nick Foles or Brian Hoyer or something, because that got the numbers already. But the numbers nationally, like the national numbers, and being a part of such a prestigious franchise like the Cowboys, man, you win one Super Bowl. I wish they would leave Dak out that moment. You crazy? I'm going crazy if Dak Prescott win a damn Super Bowl. But go ahead.
I agree in that sentiment. However, personally speaking, just for me personally, because I just did like a rough estimate of like just taking his averages and just guessing if he just does that for the rest of his contract, and just to see where he would be placed in all the all-time quarterback metrics. And for me, I feel like if he could just get to like 1. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, no, he shouldn't get in there. I feel like if he could just at least get to 1, I feel like it might be enough to at least consider him for Hall of Fame, because he would be in the Jim Kelly tier, where he's a top, because all of his numbers, when you look at him if he just does the average of what he's been doing his whole career, it makes all of his numbers, it puts him like top 15, top 12 in yards, and it puts him at like maybe top 20-ish at touchdowns. And I feel like you take that and you add on top of the fact that he's the winningest quarterback for one of the biggest franchises in the league, and even if he doesn't win the big one, if he just gets there and he comes up short a couple times, I still feel like you put him in there, like with the Jim Kelly logic.
I don't think that logic would add up for Dak. I think everybody's case is different. I think everybody's case is like it's a case by case situation. You know what I'm saying? Like Eli Manning technically ain't better than a lot of the cats in the Hall of Fame, but it's just something about having that Super Bowl on your jacket. Or if Drew Brees never won the Super Bowl, but he got all the numbers, I don't think that they put him in there. I think Super Bowl is the ultimate boom, but everybody's case ain't gonna be the same for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts he's never gonna get the passing numbers as some of these other guys. There's no way he's gonna get the passing numbers as some of these other guys. But in real life, it's about the story that you tell. It's about how popular and famous you was in the league. It may not be right, but that's what the Hall of Fame is. And then they're going to look at the bowls that you won. Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl, man. So at the end of his career, as long as he plays for a good while and he don't stink up the place towards the end of his career, which I don't think he will, he'll be a Hall of Famer because he won a Super Bowl. That's what I think. That's how I feel. And look, also on top of that, the same for the rest of these guys that's on the Cowboys roster. Zach Martin will probably be in regardless, but if you win a Super Bowl while Tyron's great on the team, then Tyron's a first ballot tackle. We don't know if Tyron's going to be a first ballot tackle. CeeDee Lamb probably, he's going to break Cowboy records for sure, but it'll help CeeDee Lamb a lot more if he had a ring under his belt. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they handle Jason Witten. If Witten had a ring, he'd be in there automatically. You know what I'm saying? So I just think ring in those conversations. I just think it matters more. I think it matters more.
Okay, all right, that's good. You might be more right than I am.
I mean, we'll never know till it happens, but we got to see. Appreciate it, big guy.
Yeah, got you.
Yep. Somebody say Jalen Hurts is not a Hall of Famer. He may not be, but that's what winning a Super Bowl can do for you. That's what winning a Super Bowl can do for you. Whoa. Are we forgetting scrambling friend going to 3 Super Bowl? Man, I might care about my friend talking. Care about my friend talking tonight. Go on. Friend Tarkenton. So the Dan Faustus of the world is barred from the Hall of Fame. Brad Johnson got a Super Bowl, but Brad Johnson doesn't have like passing numbers. Like even if you don't break NFL records, I think they at least want to see you break team records. I don't like who's the Buccaneers leading passer. Like who's the leading Buccaneers guy? Anybody got numbers on that? Hurts is like Flacco? I think so. But Hurts didn't been to two of them. How many Joe? I know Joe won one. Joe has Joe Flacco been to two? Flacco's a much better quarterback than a Trent Dilfer type. I'm not gonna put Trent Dilfer on Jalen Hurts because he'll actually get to the game and play his ass off. Shouts out to him. But Mike Glennon's the Tampa Bay. Sean King. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let's see what D-Shift talking about. What's up, D-Shift?
What's good, man?
What's good with your player? What you got?
Nah, man. Crazy talk on Pickens, bro. Just to contextualize it, man. 3rd round pick for a guy who's on the last year of the contract. A team that don't see themselves going nowhere no time soon. Don't got a great quarterback position. Got a wide receiver that they're having to pay in DK Metcalf. So they just got what they got out the guy. Don't mean that he's just. You can't scoff at it like, oh, you just got a third round pick, or why are they willing to take a 3rd round pick for that guy? You got to contextualize all that. And so, speaking of, man, I'm looking at next year's 2nd round pick. I don't know, man. Like, would you be willing to maybe in the middle of the season, if you have a team that's kind of floundering and it's kind of the same situation, the Steelers want to let go or just kind of come off a guy, just kind of get something. Maybe you trade that 2nd round pick. I mean, I know we got Diggs with a 2nd round pick, but we've also, aside from him, you got like a whole bunch of regular guys. So, like, you're selling this, aside from Diggs, like a Connor Williams. So, if you can get a guy who's going to be a Pro Bowler, perennial Pro Bowler type, have the rights to him, because that's also the thing about in free agency. Like, yeah, you see all these guys who are going to come up, eventually. But, like, if you're trying to win right now, these guys are going to have, other teams are going to pretty much sign their guys. So you can kind of come off a guy or get the rights to a guy, going forward. Would you be, willing to maybe get off that 2nd round pick too? Given it's kind of balance the matrix a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't never make these type of moves. So maybe instead of like harboring these picks, this is the one year you just kind of come up off of, a couple, get you some rights to, some really good guys like a Pickens and maybe like a Buckner or somebody.
Yeah.
The Colts ain't really doing too well. They say, we'll take a 2nd round pick for DeForest Buckner. Seems more appealing than like a week 6 when you're 1-5 or 2-3. Yeah. And also, man, side question, man, since you've been hanging out at Cowboys headquarters, man, who's a person that was familiar with your work that you kind of were like surprised, flattered, something like that? So, I'll sit back and listen to you, bro.
Okay. Appreciate you, brother. To that point, I think you should always be looking for guys like that. The disgruntled young guy that you can take a pick, flip a pick, and just get a solid player. Like if they gonna come cheap like that, cool. And look, it may not always be like a big name guy like you send a 2 to go get DeForest Buckner. I don't think the Cowboys gonna be into that, especially if the Cowboys are back drafting well. Man, if you're gonna draft Schoonmaker and Mozzie, dog, just send to pick somebody else and just get dudes. But I think what the Cowboys do with the day 3 picks, I think they've gotten really good at that. They've gotten really good at the idea of, hey, we'll take a Brandon Cooks with a 5th. We'll take a Gilmore for a 5 and a 6. Even Kenneth Murray. Like if you can get something out of Murray, and I'm not the biggest Murray fan in the world, but if you got a linebacker whisperer, and you take somebody like Murray, and you take his traits and try to figure him out and do what you do with him, then yeah, I think it makes sense. But I tell you what, D-Shift, you'd be surprised. You'd be more surprised about the amount of people that don't know about the Cowboy YouTube cast. You'd be surprised. You'd be flipping shocked if I told you the amount of characters, maybe on Patreon one day, that are just familiar with my work. And I'm just YouTube cat. I'm just camera and a microphone guy. I don't think nobody know me. I think I'm walking into that building, and I don't think I'll walk into the building like the new guy. let's just keep it a buck, chat. My confidence is.
Did you hear what I said?
Like I just like where I think I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I don't poo-poo on anybody. I don't do dirt to people. I don't talk down on nobody. But I'm very competitive. I'm very competitive and I'm very confident. So I can go to a Dallas Cowboys show, and I feel like you can sit me at a table with anybody because I put 10 years into my craft or whatever. At least a decade, 11, 12 years at least. I feel like I've just been doing this so long that if you put me at a table with anybody, like if we did a round robin tournament where we just randomly put me at the table with people, I think I'm whooping feet on a lot of people. So it's not that I walked in like, oh, I'm the new guy on campus. I'm just gonna keep my head down and you know what I'm saying. You know, I'm not gonna be so happy to be here, guy, that it affects what I'm able to do when the microphones come on, right? But I did think walking into the Cowboys building, I anticipated that nobody would know me. I did anticipate that because at the end of the day, as good as I think I am at this, I did anticipate, all right, nobody knows me. I'm going to have to prove myself everywhere I go, and that's what I'm going to start doing. You know, I'm not going to assume anybody knows Voch Lombardi. I'm just going to walk up to the table and just start smacking the shit out of people. That's what it is. You'd be surprised. Let me look at the chat. You'd be surprised about the amount of people that just say, oh, yeah, Voch, I saw that video you did in 2018. What? You saw what? You did what? You know, a part of me feels like, oh yeah, you know, me and Brian do work together. Y'all have probably seen some of the broadest work. Oh man, Voch, man, you know, you did this video about Amari Cooper running the slant 6 different ways. Oh, did you? So now it becomes a weird balance of I am the new guy. I am bona fide new guy. They try to haze me a little bit. Hey, Voch, you gonna buy them donuts? Fuck off. Yeah, Voch, you're the new guy. You gonna read these ads? No.
Did you hear what I said?
Not gonna be, you know what I'm saying? But it's interesting. They know who you are. I know it was some Cowboy YouTube cats in here earlier. I saw Rome and Amp up in here. Shouts out to y'all. I don't know if y'all still in here, but I saw y'all. But man, you be surprised. They got YouTube too. It sounds crazy, but they got YouTube too. So you be shocked. I kill those Frankel ads. Hey man, the Frankels know a couple of us. the Frankels know a few of us. You'd be surprised. Some of the people behind the scenes, the producers and shit. Voch, you know him? I be lying like, nah, I don't know him. Nah, what's Hey man, they know what's going on. They know Will's still over there. They know Foot's over there. What up, Si?
What's good with you, Mr. Hollywood? Mr. Hollywood.
Oh.
Long time no speak. I've been trying to catch you, and you be going off as soon as I get off work. So I'm like, dang. But I just go back and watch the replays. But now you and Brothers killing it though. I'll be watching all that nighttime when I can. Mm-hmm. But now, Buddy was tweaking, talking about George Pickens like that.
True.
I mean, I'll say that's my thing about Cowboys fans. I feel like everybody's trying to be too picky about stuff. Like, okay, he can't separate as long as they can catch the ball, make a touchdown. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, just catch the ball, do your job. That's what I receivers do. You feel me? But my question I was going to ask you is about these post-June 1st cuts, because the June 1st coming next week. Mm-hmm. Who on the Cowboys squad do you think or do you want to get cut to save some extra coins? Because my first person I think is Donovan Wilson. He could go. I'm sick of Buddy. He's a liability. Yeah. But continue.
Shouts out to Law Nation in the chat, by the way. Man, look. Side, that's a tricky question, man. I tell you why that's tricky. Because you have to decide for each player if you're trying to team build or if you're trying to save money. Well, pardon me, if you trying to team build or if you're trying to win right now. If you're trying to team build and save money, then yeah, you cut Donovan and move on from whoever to try to save some money. But if you're trying to win a Super Bowl right now, you don't need to be trying to save no money. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you cut Donovan and immediately take that money and invest it into something else, Cowboys not going to do that. But if you do, that's cool. But I think you need everybody right now. As hard as I've been on Sam, I think you need Sam, because if anything happens to any of your pass rushes, you would need somebody else to come in and pass rush for you. You know what I'm saying? So I think everybody plays a role. I think everybody's important. I don't want to just move on from somebody to try to save a little bit of change or to try to get a little 7th round pick or something like that. I think when you're trying to win a Super Bowl, I think you need everybody. What up, Ron?
Okay, that's right. Now, from the Cowboys roster, not from Cowboys, from other teams' roster, I know y'all was talking about D tackles a lot on the you and Brother show. Say the Lions do cut DJ Reader. Who do you think the Cowboys need to be on that phone immediately try to get into Dallas?
If I had to guess and assume, you know what I'm saying? If I had to assume, I don't think they're done evaluating this team. And I think a lot of the potential moves that they could possibly make is dependent on post June 1 and like practice squad type people. So sure. I don't know if DJ Reader's a name in particular. I think they look at it though. I think they look at it.
Okay, that's real. That's right. I just want to call and chop it up real quick. But that's about it. Yeah, Buddy was just tweaking with the George Pickens. I was listening. I was like, all right, he's out of his mind. Buddy tweaking. But yeah, keep doing your thing, Mr. Hollywood.
No,
love what you're doing. Keep grinding, bro.
No, appreciate you, man. Nah, man. Hollywood is when somebody go and do Hollywood, then they move to Hollywood and they blend in. Like, no, I come back to the crib. I may drive over there to work, but I come back to the crib. I mean, this is what I do, man. You know, I go on their platform and tell them, hey, look, I'm a YouTuber. I don't work here, man. I got some YouTube lapel pins coming. Wait till I start wearing my YouTuber lapel pins and really show them, be like, hey, man, I don't work. I'm not a part of this, man. I'm not Frisco. Yeah, Frisco, yeah. Yeah, look, Frisco is the equivalent to Hollywood in this situation. Nah, that ain't me. Voch leave before the Diddy party start. That is true. I get the hell out of there, my boy. Let's get 336 on the phone. What up, 336? What there?
Yeah. What's going on, man? This is Wall Street. I'm calling from Greensboro, North Carolina.
What's up, Wall Street? What you got for the show?
Well, man, first I want to say congratulations. Now, I picked you up a while ago. You used to break down lineman film, and you used to show your face. I used to be like the voice.
Yeah.
Voice of you. That's when I first got on you and started watching you and stuff, man. So just want to say congratulations, man. You really big inspiration to a lot of people, man, doing your thing and seeing your growth.
Appreciate you, brother. I'm trying.
And my question is, assuming Dak is healthy, who do you see starting for us at running back? Because I think we got to have a dominant or close to a dominant run game for Dak. I think Dak is at his best with us with a run game. I want to know who you think is going to be our running back. And are we going to use our fullback Lipke like they do your boy out there in San Fran? Do you see us using him like that? And my other question is, I just think, do you see Shoddy? I don't want to become a psychologist here or nothing, but for me, Dak always seems to get the yips in big games, man. I don't care if it's a not preseason, but like a regular season big game, like a big game, maybe playing the 49ers or the Eagles not the Eagles, because he played good against the Eagles, but a big game, big primetime game, or a big playoff game, man. It just seems like he get this look in his eyes, from my point of view, that he just get the yips. So do you see Shoddy helping him get over that? And lastly, what concerns me the most is our DBs. Who you see starting at DB? I know there was a lot of questions, but who do you see starting at DB, the running game, and can they help Dak get over the yips in big games, man? Because he has broken my heart many times, Voch. I mean, many times in big games.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you, my boy. Appreciate your Wall Street. I'm about to get to all your questions. I wrote them down, man. But good call. Appreciate you. Salute. All right, so Wall Street said, who do we have starting at running back? I think it's going to be Javonte Williams, and it's going to be a rotation of Jalen Blue. And I think Miles Sanders is going to have a fair shake to get involved. As far as Hunter Lipke goes, I don't think he has a sponsor in the building. I think he was. I think the whole fullback position was like a big Mike McCarthy thing. So we will be looking for Ryan Knoll or these kind of characters trying to match that Shanahan energy or whatever. If Schottenheimer watches enough Shanahan and decides that we're going to use Hunter Lipke as a Kyle Juszczyk type role, I can see it. But if Shotty has his own plans and it doesn't include fullback, I don't think Lipke has that much of a safe spot here. If anything, what keeps Lipke most safe is that he plays teams. As he's the punt team guy, punt return guy. I think he does some kickoff stuff too, so that'll be important for Lipke. But I don't think Lipke as a fullback have that much of a spot to where he's not in question. As far as yips go, I think in most of Dak's playoff games, not including 49ers, it gets a little weird against 49ers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hold you there. But Green Bay, I think he had a fine game versus the Rams. Not like a terrible game, but he had like a playoff game versus the Rams. That was enough. You just got to be able to keep Jared Goff from running around. But I think Dak may have done enough in that Rams game. I can't remember. 49ers games, you have a point. But 49ers been kicking our ass since we've existed. Maybe they just got our number. I don't know. I hope to not see them in it. I don't want to see them. Tampa Bay, Dak beat the shit out of Tampa Bay. He went, now that first drive was goofy and I was scared, but man, Tampa Bay beat the shit out of them boys. And as far as Green Bay goes, Dak didn't have a great early game versus Green Bay. You're not wrong. But I think how playoff games should operate, I think those games are supposed to be tough. And I think there's supposed to be some trials and tribulations. And you just have to figure out how to win at the end. That's what I think playoff games are. You know what I'm saying? I think playoff games are built for you to, they're built to be tough. And over 4 quarters, you figure it out and you try to win at the end. That's what I think playoff games are. If you Dak Prescott and you down 28-0 in the first half or something, that's when it gets bad. Like even if you look at like Dak throwing picks in these games, right? Besides that 1 year where Dak was throwing picks, but there was reasons why he was doing that. Man, he's throwing picks at the end of these games when he's trying to force the football, force playing catch up, force throwing into cover 4. And then he'll throw a pick or something like that. Man, the game over at that point. But take a quarterback that's notoriously good in post. Like, take Jalen Hurts. I give him that. Jalen Hurts good in postseason games. If the other team got 28 points on the board in the first half, you ain't winning. And I don't think them yips. So, if you want to talk about yips, I mean, yeah, he might have them versus San Fran. I think that's a good criticism, we just ain't figured that San Fran problem out. But this is what I think good teams do. I think good teams have a multifaceted approach. And just in case you walk into a game and Dak ain't the answer in that game, I think good teams have a backup plan to get you out of that mode of play. So for example, if you can't beat San Francisco throwing the football, a good team would then go to a run heavy approach to try to deal with San Fran. What the Cowboys do is we'll realize that, we're not throwing the ball that well versus San Fran. We'll keep throwing the fucking football against San Fran. That's what the Cowboys do. We'll just throw it some more and hope something changes when it doesn't. I would love it if Dak could win some of those Garoppolo, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen games where he only threw for 150 yards, but we somehow just won the game comfortably. I would love for Dak to have some of those games. He hadn't had those games before, so that's that. As far as I wrote DB, but I ain't write down what his question was in particular. I assume he just asking who the first DB is going to be out there. I don't know. We'll see. It's probably going to be Kalen Carson, Kyrie Elam, Deron Bland. That'll probably be what it starts off as. But I think what's her name's going to be who's the rookie, man? I'm blanking, man. This long ass stream, this 2-hour long ass stream. I'm blanking. Ravel. Siobhan Ravel, I think he'll eventually tap in at some point. He'll eventually get his way at some point, but I don't think he'll start there. All right, yo, chat, we showing out, dog. Y'all got a 2-hour live stream, dog. Y'all got a 2-hour live stream, dog. Yo, what the hell going on? What the hell? I didn't even know that was up there already. I'm looking at something different, by the way. Chat, y'all notice something different about the live stream? I didn't even think that was up there. Did y'all notice something different about the live stream? Don't worry about it. I'll get into it. 408. What's up? Who this?
Hey, this your boy Coop 100.
What up, Coop 100? What you got for the show?
Hey man, hey, I'm bringing all the energy right now. Hey, lifelong Cowboy fan, a long time Voch Lombardi fan. All the way back to the to the good old days. But hey, I'm here in the Bay Area. Okay. I live about 1.5 miles away from Levi Stadium, so I'll be dealing with the Super Bowl this year. I'll be down in Oxnard, so I'll see you at the Rudder Room. I'll see you, at the Yard House. Yeah. We getting down this year.
Yeah, I'll be out there.
This is what I gotta say. This is what I gotta say for this year. This year, I'm predicting us to have 14 wins.
Okay.
I believe that we doubling up on everything from last year. Let me give you all the double ups as a Cowboy fan I've been enjoying this offseason. So I got Brian Broaddus, Voch Lombardi off rip. I got Shotty Eberflus off rip. I got Dak Milton. I got CeeDee Lamb Pickens. I got Tyler Smith Booker. I got Leah Fowl Overshown. Then I got some triple ups with Revel Bland Diggs, Micah EZ and Fowler. And then I got my double up on explosives with Blue and Turpin. Hey, I'm telling you right now, I don't care nothing about all of these haters that run around here calling people, delusional fans and Kool-Aid drinkers and all that. I'm not going to let them shame me into not feeling good about what we potentially could do this upcoming season.
Sure.
I'm feeling like we're going to make some noise. Like the East always does, it's going to flip over. And I'm telling y'all right now, I'm giving us 14 wins, doubling up from last year because we done doubled up on everything else, not to mention doubling up on our OC and O-line coach, our DC and D-line coach. So, yeah, let me know how you feel about all these double ups and triple ups. And hopefully I'll get to see you off in Oxnard, brother.
Hey, man, I'll be out there, walk up, shake my hand. It'll be fun. I can't wait, my boy. I can't wait to kick it with anybody that walks up in Oxnard and kick it with us. Man, don't forget Cooper Beebe, man. Don't forget about Cooper Beebe. I know you're excited about the Tylers, man. I know you're excited about the Tylers, and I am too. I'm O-line guy. I'm O-line guy, and I feel like offensive line has been misrepresented by our media friends when they get to camp or whatever. I'm aware that everybody's going to be doing George Pickens video. So I'm not going to be the one that's going to be posting all the George Pickens videos. I'm about to focus on offensive line. And I'll go watch the George Pickens video when John Machota posts it. It's all good. I think Landlord one of the best up-and-coming YouTubers in this thing, man. Shouts out to Landlord. I had a great conversation with him. It don't matter what we talked about. Don't worry about it. He know what I talked about. You know what I'm saying? Landlord on his way. And I think he's doing it the right way. And I think the numbers are gonna reflect that. You know what I'm saying? And y'all please tap in with his channel. He's a bad boy. What's up, Landlord? Let's get this last one in, then we're gonna get to the supers. All right, 520. What up? Who this?
Yo, what's going on, Voch? This is Mikey 520, bro. How you doing?
What's up, Mikey? What you got for the show?
Well, first of all, happy Memorial Day. I see you got that Soldier Green on, repping a little bit, and everybody that sacrificed and for our freedom. Not to get too political, but this is why we got that day off. No, with George Pickens, I don't want to. We could go to Cowboy history. That's what we know is our history. That's where our parallels are. In 1992, our defense needed one player that changed our team drastically. I'm not saying that we are the 92 Cowboys or anything, but they took a risk on a certain player, a certain team wanted to get rid of. I know this player was a Super Bowl championship player already, but what Charles Haley did to the defense and did to the team overall changed the team, give it that facelift, and then they were a young team, and he turned them to a Super Bowl team. And I know I'm going and I'm reaching a little bit, but what George Pickens could do coming off of a same kind of situation where he didn't want to be there, they wanted to get rid of him, and then there's this whole narrative about him. We could handle that. Like you said, Shotty could handle that. I don't know if you saw that social media of that dog, King Charles. Yeah, you seen that dog that punks all the other dogs?
Yeah.
Because he walks in the room. Well, we got a couple King Charleses in our locker room. We have a quarterback. We have our own King Charles as wide receivers, and we can handle somebody like George Pickens. You and Marquise could argue to the day is black or whatever, and that's good content for argument's sake. And he was kind of tweaking a little bit. What comes with it comes with it. But this dude is an 80-20 ball receiver. We were in love. We were wide receiver horny so much. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. I wanted Tetaroa. That's what we wanted, and we got blinded by that. We got booked. We got Mr. Nasty Time, thank God, and it worked out. But this ex-receiver fits in our scheme so much, and not just for the passing game, for our running game. Like how you said, Mike McCarthy could say we're going to emphasize the run. We saw the fruits in that until Rico did at the end of the year. But this dude legitimately makes us a running team because they can't put 8 in the box with our big boys now. They can't. And I'm excited. Voch, I'm excited when you and Brian put some new stuff out and I dissected. I'm a small-time YouTuber. We're Cowboy Up Podcast, me and my boys, Tuesday afternoons. And we do our own thing. And I'm excited about this team. I'm excited about this. Not to drink the Kool-Aid like how Ambar was saying, falling in love on the break all over again. But we're like the double up, triple up. The homeboy said earlier, we're doubling up. And all in was a concept last year, but all in feels all in this year. I love our depth. What would you think? What's the final piece if guidance doesn't work out? Because that's our biggest question. Do you think would you find it far-fetched if we took Tyron off the couch in December to make this run for good and heavy, bro? And one more question, boss. You've been saying that you're a YouTuber. In the dynamics that you are now, and congratulations with all your success, man. You're living the dream. The dynamics that you see now that you're with Cowboy beat writers and Cowboy reporters, you're holding your own. I see you holding your own, and that makes us proud as legit Cowboy fans, the guys that really see you. How is that dynamic, and have you felt any weird, or like how you said, are you uber confident? But again, Cowboy Up Podcast, love you, Watch. Puro Cowboys, ya sabes, Tucson, Arizona, bear down.
What's the name of your channel? Shit. Boy, that was a lot of questions. That was a lot of questions. Yo, chat, what's the name of his podcast? Or if he's in the chat, can y'all find out what his podcast is? I think the first thing that he asked me was, is he reaching by thinking that George Pickens was like a last final piece, like Charles Haley was? I think in the, I think how modern football is, or like how salary cap football is, I don't think that those parallels are like easily relatable or whatever. Like they're not a one like a 1-to-1 comparison or whatnot. But he was asking me, yeah, like 14 wins. This is how I feel. I feel like as long as Dak is healthy, you in the tournament. That's just how I feel. If Dak is healthy, you in the tournament. Like he's good enough to carry a cool team to the tournament. So now you basically stacking other good stuff on top of Dak. You know what I'm saying? So hell yeah, you can win a Super Bowl with the addition of George Pickens. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't feel like a team has to be perfect to get to a Super Bowl or win it. You know, the Washington Football Wizards aren't a perfect team, like perfectly constructed, put together. You know what I'm saying? But they're good enough to get to the tournament, and once you're in the tournament, you can win some games. You know what I'm saying? Even with Pat and them boys, right? Like Pat is Pat, but that team ain't perfect. I don't think the Cowboys team is perfect neither, but if you got a guy that can at least get you to the tournament, then I think you're automatically, contender worthy. You know what I'm saying? I don't think like some of these other people that the Cowboys are gonna sneak in at 9-8. I don't think the Cowboys are like they're gonna be an 8-9 team sneaking in or something. I don't think they're gonna be like that. I think if Forrest is healthy, I don't know where this new fear of the Washington Football Wizards come from. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you got to be able to sweep Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. You know what I'm saying? Sweep them, and they barely. I ain't gonna get into it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But I think as long as Forrest is healthy, you got a shot. I don't remember his middle question, but as far as his last questions was, is it a weird dynamic working at .com? No, not at all. I think I've done enough work. I think I bring something different to the party. I don't think anybody else brings what I bring to the party. At the end of the day, we're just doing content, Supers, by the way. Boy, what a long show this been. Who the hell y'all? Boy, what a long show this been. Who the hell? Why this say I only been streaming for an hour and this say I've been streaming for 2 hours? Hey, y'all, don't lie. Y'all give me my numbers now. Give me my hours, my time spent or whatever. Cool. Move that right there. Sick of this. I'm sick of it. All right. Myron, always make sure you get home safe. If I said soft soul separate, that's facts, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. What you want me to say? The cat that just called in, because I think he'll be back on now. The cat that just called in, you said you had a YouTube, Mikey520. What's your YouTube channel, man? So we can tap in with you, man. We can say what's up to you. All right. I gotta hit refresh on this. What's today? The 26th. All right, we got some stuff. Damn, I ain't been live since the 7th. Where the hell I been? I feel like you know what? Because I've been going live on other people's channels. So yeah, y'all please do the back searches on that so y'all can go and watch those shows. But instead of me going live, I really hadn't been live on my own channel since 7. That's bullshit. that's BS. All right. Angie said, Voch, I love you to Pete. No, she ain't said it. She dropped a dime and says, hey Voch, wait for you to pull out my chair so I can enjoy the show. There you go. Right there. You've been sitting down the whole show though. Thank you for behaving in there. Mansa Musa dropped a dub in the super chat. Appreciate you, sir. He says, can't say you're just a dude with a camera and microphone no more. Proud of you, Voch. Keep grinding. Well, that's all I am, man. I've been camera microphone guy, man. It is what it is. Vance Williams dropped a deuce and says, who pushed for the change after the 2023 bye on O? Who pushed for the change after the 2023 bye? Okay, the offensive change after the 2000. CeeDee Lamb went and complained, and I really do believe Dak Prescott was calling most of them plays. I really do believe Dak Prescott was calling most of them plays. I think CeeDee Lamb went and quietly complained to Mike McCarthy, and the offense opened up. And if I can bet, I bet you Schottenheimer going to be on that same kind of time too. You can be on that same kind of time too. But when Mike McCarthy got a full offseason and he wanted things to be done his way, that's when stuff started to look a little weird. But you know, Maximilian dropped the 5 and says, this year definitely different. The team knows Voch is in the building now. Hey, man, I'm just saying, man. What you want me to say? I'm gonna bring energy to the content world while they bring, you know what I'm saying? What up, Hoodie? While Shotty brings energy to the team and all that. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Appreciate you. Dro Nose dropped the deuce and says, like Julius Caesar never saw Brutus as a threat. It's real talk, bro. It's real talk. Google is free. Google is free, my boy. Carmine Polo dropped a dub and says, bro, congratulations on the gig with Brian and yourself. I enjoyed the podcast for sure. Me and Brian gonna be in the studio looking across from each other, and I'm trying to make a lot of money. Appreciate you. Night 405 dropped a deuce and says, bring back Tyron Smith to mentor Guyton. Ain't no telling, dog. What's up, Lawrence Mack? Ain't no telling, bro. Now, I don't think you should just be bringing back Tyron Smith, just be bringing back Tyron Smith. I think if you're going to, and look, the Cowboys have his rights. They have his retired rights. So if he ever came back, I mean, he's a Cowboy. I think Tyron's done now. I think Tyron is fully retired. But if he ever came out of retirement, put him right there and don't look back. Let's see. That was night 405 there. The Coleman Cowboy dropped 5 and says, Voch, with the healthy green juice. Hey, man, I'm trying, man. You know what I'm saying? My skin trying to get trying to glow up. Man, keep spitting facts. Culture is definitely different. Everyone has bought in. Appreciate you, sir. Dro Nose came back with another deuce and says, Nick let his greens and yam touch his car. And Nick Harris definitely surprised me, man. For sure. Me and Tyron the same age. Tyron Smith? Nah, look, in football years, he's definitely your age. But Tyron about what? Tyron gotta be 34. He closer to my age, ain't it? How old? He about 36. How old is Tyron Smith? Tyron Smith, 34 years old, man. Tyron Smith is 34 years. Y'all can't see that? Why won't they let me show y'all? All right, they're not going to let me show you, but yeah, Tyron Smith, 34 years. Yep. Google free, man. Y'all got Google? Shit. Y'all got Google now? Yeah, man, Tyron is an old character. You know what I'm saying? He's an old character in football years, but he's 34. He's a year older than me, which is crazy. That's crazy as hell, boy. Appreciate you though. Let's see. Nova got that bomb. He's dropped 5 and says, do you think Jason Garrett and Mike McCarthy's lack of hustle to get the roster better caused Jerry Jones to be more involved with who played? I think Jason Garrett had a little bit of hustle in him. I just don't think he was as good of a head coach. I don't think he was that good of a head coach. I think Jason definitely had. Jason was a really good player evaluator. I think Jason was cool as a player evaluator. He just wasn't, you know what I mean? Mr. JD 3000 dropped 5 and says, did you see Blue and Maffa being a poor man's Gibbs and Montgomery long term? No, I think Maffa gonna constantly be fighting for his life. I think Gibbs will be here. And I don't think Gibbs is stopping the Cowboys from drafting a running back next year. I think Maffa gonna have to fight for his life every single year unless he comes out and shows something, but he gonna have to pop out and show us. Jotman dropped 5 and says, if I had Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett as a quarterback, I'd crash out too. People are penalizing him for that. Be serious. Yeah, this is the part where Martise really started to make some enemies in the chat. William Hatcher dropped the 5 in the super chat for the love. Appreciate you, man. Just say what's up. Mr. JD came back with another 5 and says the difference between Mike McCarthy and Schottenheimer is that Shotty knows that the crybaby gets the milk. I feel you. There's a lot of ways I would have worded that different, but yeah, the crybaby does get the milk. You could have said closed mouth don't get fed. You could have said that one, but yeah, the crying baby definitely get the milk. The second rat get the cheese, you heard? Marshawn Mason dropped the 5. It says, Voch, considering Dak's injury history, does it make sense to incorporate Milton in the offense off the rip? No, because if Dak Prescott get hurt, we going right into draft season. If Dak get hurt, we going straight into draft season. You feel me? But that's that. Stone Cold G dropped the deuce. Says Martise is CeeDee Lamb a number 1 receiver. Oh, no. Man, I'm 60 in football years. I'm old as hell in football. Me, I'm old as hell in football years. My ankle hurt right now. I got knee sleeves on right now. It's all good. Amp came and dropped the 5. Appreciate you, bro. He says, salute, big dog. Keep up the great work, bro. Likewise, Amp is another great YouTuber on his way. You know, something strange, something I got to catch myself. You know, when new people come into a space, you want to call them young guy. A lot of these people older than me, so I can't be like, oh yeah, man, I can't call people young guy. You know what I mean? They just like up and coming. Like a lot of these people still are older than like landlord might be younger than me. I know Amp might be a little older. There's a lot of cats that's older than me that's just starting, or they starting relatively new, like within a year or so. So I can't call people young guys that's older than me. See, Amp 38, he older than me, you know what I'm saying? But he's an up and coming YouTube, you know what I mean? Landlord older than me, so yeah, hey, look, they on their way up. they on their way up. But they not unk yet, but they are big bro. So check out Big Bros. They working. One day we gotta have a conversation about why the young people call people that are in big bro territory unk. They just call anybody unk. Like it's just, you just can't call. Like it's people in my chat that call me unk. I'm not old enough to be unk yet. But I don't know. And Joe Cook came in and dropped a dime. People without facts shouldn't have opinions. That's hard. People without facts should not have an opinion. Appreciate you. Then R. Smith dropped the 5 and says, love the show. DC for life. Appreciate you, sir. Hold on. Wait. Let me get back. Let me get right. Boom. No, not you. Bam. Here we go. Oh, let me find my glasses now. Not these. There they go. Let me get my glasses on. Let me put my glasses on. Shit. Rome say he on. Shit, Rome ain't even on. You know what I'm saying? Rome ain't even on. You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. 1906 says he dropped a dime and says DT personnel and run defense. Trade for Vita Vea and we can't trade Vita Vea. We can't trade for Vita Vea. No. Here we go. Marcus Hardison says, shit, I lost Marcus. Hold on. Okay. Marcus Hardison says, embracing solitude allows you to step away from typical external pressures. You can evaluate your goals and aspirations without feeling judged. Embracing solitude allows you to step away from the typical external pressures. Then you can evaluate your goals and aspirations without feeling judged. Proud of you, Brody King, man. Appreciate you, Marcus Hardison, man. Hold this L, UNLV, man. Young King, Young Pimp, Young Lion. Appreciate you, Marcus. Salute. Hey, man, Marcus Hardison got some work coming, and when it gets here, we gonna promo the hell out of it. Shouts out to him. We gonna get it all done. We gonna get it all figured out, man. Shouts out to Marcus Hardison, man. Shouts out to Marcus Hardison. Yeah, man, I'm big bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm big bro. And look, it's still because look, this the BS, right? I started doing YouTube. Let's see, I'm 33. So damn, I was 23 I was like 23, 24 when I started YouTubing for real. And when you 23, 24 with a decent amount of football knowledge, like they give you the protege treatment. You know what I'm saying? They go, damn boy, young buck, you sure know a lot about football, man. Shouts out to you. You on your way, man. Boy, but when you 33, boy, don't nobody give a damn about. It's almost like when you turn into an old man, you don't know what the hell you talking about regardless. Damn. Let's see who live right now. Mike Fisher. Yeah, we send him over there. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's see. You got a Cowboy Collective. All right, shouts out to my guys over there. Y'all gonna watch them anyway. Yeah. Y'all go over there and tap in with Cowboy Collective. You know what I'm saying? Will Still, Fush the King. They don't respond to raids, so we ain't gonna raid necessarily, but y'all can definitely hold on.
Like we haven't seen him let me say not never, right? Because Law did give us some great notes.
Fuss already fuss. Yeah, we ain't gotta do the raid because I don't think they're gonna be reading.
But it's just not enough.
I don't think they're gonna be reading comments or whatever. But would y'all please, like I said, go support the Cowboy Collective. They bros over there. All right. Love y'all to pieces. Hey man. Hey man. Fun stream. I got to get one more in before the month's over with. Now look, when the regular season gets here, we'll be streaming a lot more. So don't fret. But just right now in the off season or whatever, we'll be, we would piece on I see somebody said piece. We will stream on it'll be a stream by stream basis. So y'all just be on the lookout for me. All right. I love y'all 2 pieces, and I do mean that. All right. I do mean that with everything in my spirit. I love y'all to death. All right. Y'all go check out Cowboy Collector, support them, and I'll be live again pretty soon. Just to tap in and go live again. All right. So y'all hold down for the Doski Woski and the Peace Whiskey. Until next time. Salute.